Welcome children to the video lecture of Standard 10th Social Science. Today we are going to start chapter number 3, Cultural Heritage of India, and in that we are going to mainly see about sculpture and architecture of India. We have already completed 2 lectures of history section, and this is the third lecture of our history section. In this lecture, we will study about the cultural heritage of India, and we'll see about the main sculptures of India and about the architecture of India. So, without wasting time, let us go further. India is world famous for its rich cultural heritage. This we already know. Okay, it is very famous. The art of sculpture and architecture have brought a unique identity to India. Town planning of Indus culture. Indus means the Harappan culture also. It is also known as the Harappan culture in many books. Cultures of ancient India was greater than contemporary town planning of the world. Contemporary means present time. Okay, of that particular time means Indian town planning was much more better than the town planning of most of the other cultures of the same time in the ancient world. Sculptures means to carve the filling on stone, wood or on metal with the hammer and chisel. Now this is the definition of sculpture you need to remember. Sculpture means to carve the filling on stone. Okay, to give your fillings on stone, wood or on metal with hammer or chisel. Same way like you do painting. Okay, painting what you do is you put your feelings, you put your ideas on a paper or on a canvas in the form of colors, lines, tones, different shadings and shapes. While here you put your ideas, your feelings in on the stone by the way of hammer and chisel. Sculpture, the art of shaping figures. See what is sculpture? Then the art of shaping figures or design with facial expression in round or in relief, professionally performed by a sculptor with the help of a chisel and hammer, is known as sculpture. Okay, now what is sculpture? Sculpture means to make a statue or to make a art out of a stone, metal or wood with the help of chisel and hammer, and the person who does it is known as sculptor, the artist. Okay, next is architecture. Simple meaning of architecture means art of construction. What is architecture? Art of construction. The word Vastu, we have already studied about Vastu in the previous chapters. The word Vastu is used for architecture in Sanskrit language. Say in Sanskrit language, Vastu is used for architecture and it is very much renowned. In this reference, art of constructing buildings, say constructing buildings, houses, towns, wells, forts, minarets, temples, mosques and tombs is called architecture. So art of making buildings, houses, towns, even say town planning is also very important, wells, okay, forts. In olden time fort were important places. Minarets are tall towers, okay, near the mosque or in tombs. Temples, mosque and tombs are graves of famous people or kings. Skill of architect is seen in the art of architecture. Okay, the skill of the artisan, the architect is seen in the way he does present his art. The next topic is ancient Indian town planning. As we have already seen that the town planning of India was much better, way better in comparisons to the other civilizations of that time. And the town planning of Harappa or the town planning of Lothal is compared unparalleled in the history. India has acquired expertise in the field of town planning. Many such towns have been found out during archaeological excavation work. See, a lot of towns have been found during the archaeological work. The towns were divided into three sections. The towns were divided into three sections. One, fort of rulers, that is citadel. Second, house of administration and officers situated on the upper part of the town. And third was resident of common people situated on the lower part of the town. Now you need to understand this. Okay, the town in olden time was divided mainly into three sections. Okay, the first one was citadel. Citadel was situated in the middle of the town. It was situated in the middle of the town and it was at a higher place in comparison to the other town. The second level of town was for the administrative officers. Okay, it was related for the administrative offices and for the people who are working for the kings. So that was the second layer of the town. Second layer of the town, which was you can say a little bit lower than the citadel. And the third was for the resident on the common people. That was the town which was located all around the citadel and the upper town. Okay, so the middle part was known as citadel, this part was known as citadel, right? The second part was known as upper town and the third part was known as the lower town. Okay, so there were three mainly parts of the Dholavira, or sorry, the town planning of Harappa. Forts for rulers were constructed on upper part of the town. Say forts for the rulers was constructed on the upper part of the town. Now why it was done? It was done with many reasons. Why? Because it was safer. First of all, it was safer because whenever there was an attack from the outer side, the king was in the safest place. Second, most of these towns were constructed on the banks of the rivers. Okay, and that's why there was always a fear of flood. So it was also easier for the king to be saved if the palace or the fort is situated on a higher place. So these were some of the reasons due to which they were situated in the middle of the town and at the safe or a higher place. Second, upper part of the town is safe and protected with house having 2 to 5 rooms. See, in the upper town there were houses which had 2 to 5 rooms and that were surrounded by the surrounding the citadel. Houses on the lower part of the town are mainly constructed with handmade bricks. Houses on the lower town of the common people was mainly made with handmade bricks and they were usually one story, means they did not have more than one floors and they were not so well built like the other towns, like the other houses. People of Indus Valley civilizations had developed many more buildings and systematic towns than many other civilizations. See, there were other many civilizations also, but they had not built a town as beautiful and as systematic like the Indus Valley people. From the architecture point of view, among all of them, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had the best town planning. See, these were the two towns which were more systematic than the any two, Harappa and the Mohenjo-daro. Presently, these both places are in Pakistan. Okay. Let us see about Mohenjo-daro. In 1922, archaeologist named Rakhaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Sahni found out remains of a huge town planning. See, remember these two names, Rakhaldas Banerjee and Dayaram Sahni. These were the two people who built the foundation of discovering the Mohenjo-daro. During excavation is digging out work which was being carried out under the guidance of Sir John Marshall and Colonel Mickey. Okay, these were the two British officers at that time, archaeologists at that time, who were guiding these people in the Larkhan district, okay, which is right now situated in Pakistan, in the Larkhan district of Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro is the name of the place, and as these towns were discovered there, that's why those towns were named Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro means the heap of the dead. See, what is the meaning of it? Mohenjo-daro means the heap of the dead. The heap of the dead. Heap is a pit or duglo of dead. Okay, so there were big fields, there were big plain areas, and in that plain area in Larkhan, now in Pakistan, of Mohenjo-daro means heap of dead. First, construction of the town. See, for the point of view of the town planning, Mohenjo-daro is the best. Mohenjo-daro is considered best. Houses were built on high plinths to protect them from flood and dampness. See how they were built. They were built on high plinths. Okay, they were directly not built on the soil, but they were first plinths were made, and then on those plinths the houses were made. Right, on that the houses were made. The houses of rich people were double story. See, rich people means they have more money, that's why they have double story houses, and had 5 to 7 rooms, while those of poor people, people with common people, were single story and have 2 to 3 rooms. So you can understand, first there was the king's place, then surrounding the king's place was the upper town, and surrounding the upper town there was the common town for the people. The town was fortified. This is very important. Fortified means there was a fort around the town to protect it from the common invaders, from the people outsiders, and so on. The main entrance of the houses open on the side lane and not on the main lane. This was one of the very important point of it. Okay, the just imagine that these are houses. Okay, and this is the main road. This is the main road. Now usually it happens during the present time that the gate of the house is on the road. Okay, it is facing the road, but in Harappa it was not the case. Thus the main gate was on the sides. It was situated on the side of the houses and not on the main road. Okay, that was a very different feature of the Harappan town planning. Remains of the store houses, kitchens, and bathrooms were found in every house. Say, in every house you can find storehouses, kitchens, and bathrooms. There was proper arrangement for doors and window to keep the house airy. See, there were a lot of doors and windows so that the house could have natural aeration and ventilation. Now, how were the roads built? Roads were the main features of this planning. The roads were 9.7 meters wide. Underline this. Remember this. They were 9.75 meters wide. The small linking road close to the major are right angle. This is very important. Okay, all the road. This, as I told you, this is the main road. Okay, suppose this is the main road. So the roads which are connecting the main roads were right angle. They were at the right angle. They were at the right angle. Okay. The roads were wide enough for number of vehicles to pass. See, they were so wide that number of vehicles could pass at the same time. Pits on the road side suggest that there might have been lampposts. See, there are pits. Pits means khado. Okay, there are pits on the side of the roads. There are pits on the side of the roads, right? And that suggests that possibilities are that there were poles, light poles, but at that time there was no electricity. So these poles were used to hang the lanterns and lamps, which were used for light at the night. Roads of the town were straight main roads without any turns. Main roads were straight and there did not exist any turns in them. This is considered to be speciality of the ancient times. This was one of the specialities of the ancient time. There were two main roads. Okay, one going from north to south and the other going from east to west. So you can say one road was going from north to south while the second road was going from east to west, and all other smaller roads cut these roads at right angle. Roads were cut at right angle. All the smaller roads were cutting these roads at right angle. Okay, so that was one of the biggest specialities of that town planning. Both crossed each other at right angles. So this roads also, the main roads also crossed each other at right angle. So here you can see they are both are cutting each other at right angle. The third very important aspect of it is the drainage system. Drainage system is a unique feature of this town planning. So it is one of the most unique features of the town planning. Such a drainage system was found nowhere except in island of Creta in Mediterranean Sea. In Mediterranean Sea there is a small island named Creta, and same kind of system of drainage system was found here and nowhere else. This system was built to drain dirty water out of the town. So what was the main purpose of it? To see that the dirty water of day-to-day usage was drained outside the town. Each and every household had a cesspit. Cesspit means a type of a small pit where the dirty water used to collect, and as soon as it would overflow, that overflowed water will flow into the the drainage system which was connected to the cesspit. This planned, systematic and efficient drainage system clearly proved that they were very careful about their hygiene. See, this shows that they were very careful about the hygiene and health of the people. Next is public bath. A huge bath was excavated at Mohenjo-daro. There was an arrangement to put fresh water in dirty water out. Okay? This big huge bath was also known as the great bath. It is a facility to put in fresh water and to remove the dirty water out. This might have been a facility for hot water and small rooms for changing of the clothes. Okay, so on the side of it there was also facility for the changing of the clothes. This public bath might have been used for festivals and religious ceremonies. Okay, it was used for religious ceremonies. Public buildings. The ruins of two ruins is destroyed forms. Okay, khandar of two huge buildings have been found in Mohenjo-daro. They might have been used as town halls or as theatres and administrative office or as a granary. See, what was the real purpose is not known, but there are many assumptions that they might have been used as town halls, or as theatres or administrative office or as a granary. Granary is a go down for keeping the grains. The barrack of such buildings were also found. Okay, there was a barrack found into such forms. This must have been used to accommodate the soldiers. Here the soldiers were also kept, and there are evidences of